teaching materials might a teacher use online?
Well, I still think that a course book works pretty well, even for online teaching, because it still sets out the syllabus, doesn't it? And so it gives you a curriculum and it tells you what tenses to follow and what vocabulary to introduce and that sort of thing. And you?
Yeah, well, you might work for a company who provides teaching materials for you, so they might provide kind of PowerPoint presentations or something like that. And you may be able to adapt them depending on the company's policy.
Yeah, and there's authentic materials as well. Of course, the internet is full of YouTube videos and TED Talks and articles in newspapers and that sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And also you might have learners that bring materials to lessons, mightn't you? If you're doing a one-to-one class, then you might have a business person who comes to you and says, I need to write a letter, or I've received this email, can you help me to understand it?
The materials I use for online teaching are very similar to what I'd use in a face-to-face classroom. I do try and keep it simple. So instead of giving lots of different handouts, I might just give one handout so the students can refer to it easily instead of having to navigate between different handouts, or they might print it off beforehand. I also try and keep the structure of the tasks as simple as possible, just so it's easier to manage online. So maybe discussion tasks such as ranking or problem solving.
Probably the most important thing to remember if you're taking material or resources that you've used in a face-to-face environment is to think about the time, the fact that it will take longer for you to cover the same amount of material. To think about the appropriacy of the different tasks within that material. Because really, if you're doing language practice tasks, I think that is probably better done in the learner's own time. So perhaps taking out the tasks where it's about guidance or giving feedback and using those in the online session and allowing the learners to go and do the learning, the practice, outside the lesson. So you might consider flipping your lesson a little bit or thinking about how a series of lessons will work with online study or independent study in between those classes.
I would give the activities like reading to do before they meet me, and then during the lesson then we can discuss the reading together.